Ah! We're going to be with Hiratsuka Sensei. Yes, it's going to be wonderful.
This is going to be
all right.
amazing.
Welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Oregairu,
Season 3, Episode 11. Because, you know, in the darkest hour when there's only 2 episodes left in the show, including this one, what do we need more than anything? We need Hiratsuka come alongside Hachiman and be like, hey, let's go to the batting cages.
I'm just so excited right now.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
The penultimate episode of the Oregairu series. I'm freaking excited right now. But I really, really want to have this only be like, weirdly enough, I know I'm really excited for this.
But you want it to be like a short period of time?
I want this to be like 7 minutes.
Only 7 minutes.
Yeah. Only 7 minutes.
Only 7 minutes. Even though, you know, we already had a bit of them at the batting cages in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know how much this dude likes Hiratsuka.
I'll take a third of the episode for Hiratsuka.
Right.
Because I think it'll be basically her end. Like,
yeah.
And it'll be sad. It'll be like a goodbye. But I really, really want them to give
1/6 of the remaining time of the show with Hiratsuka.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's
She's at least 1/6 of the the staying power.
See, this is the problem when you
all the girls combined. You know?
Right, but this is the problem when you have a show about people in high school and then you randomly have like the teacher that's around our age and is like super awesome and we're just like.
We get super attached to the teacher more than in some cases than like half the students, you know. It's like, you know,
what? No,
yeah. But we had the prom. It was really good. Mom was proud of Yukino.
But there was a complicated situation, and we had that whole set of conversations with Haruno, which was really good. Really freaking good.
Yeah.
And then we also had the point where Hachiman had the chance to talk about it openly.
Yeah.
And he balked. He choked.
And then someone else came in and, you know, interrupted things. But, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below and come back here for the discussion.
Well,
my boy.
Okay.
He did it.
Yeah, he did it.
He did it. He broke through both the family barrier and the internal emotional barrier.
Smashed through it. Yeah.
Smashed through it.
Yep.
Grabbed her hand, chased after her in that moment.
Right.
That was so powerful. Like that was such a good thing.
Excellent.
Oh. I'm happy to trade 7 minutes of Hiratsuka heaven for
what we got
for a confession that's accepted.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it was an absolutely excellent confession. And we still have an episode left in the series, which I am so excited for because
it's going to be a party. That's what it's going to be.
Well, yeah, but like one of the things I was really worried about, right? Or not worried about in this show, but like one of the things that I worry about in general with rom-coms is that if you just get to the point where there's the confession, then you don't necessarily have all the awesome stuff that can happen afterwards.
True. Because
yes, it doesn't necessarily need to be there because the main conflict's over, but it's still good to see, right? And the fact that we get the confession here, I'm like, yes, because especially given the fact that we had a love triangle, and so having there also be a rejection in this episode, we need to see the aftermath for both to see how the dynamics 100%. Between the characters play out moving forward into the future. So
even though we're probably only going to get like 7 to 10 minutes on that, probably.
Oh, sure, yeah.
However much, a lot of goofy stuff with regards to building up to this prom, thing,
but it's that important thing of the let us
the other characters too,
let us know where
the trio stands.
So that way, even though we're not going to see their journey all the way until if Yukino and Hachiman get married or anything like that, right? Yeah. We know the trajectory. We know the direction.
I don't think we're going to do time skip. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a lovely celebratory prom thing that's going to be chaos at the beach. Yep. It's going to be fun, and I think Yui is going to cry in the arms of Yukino about how happy she is that they're going to have all 3 of them, together as, close friends and stuff. So that's going to be something. And I expect a lot of the other characters that are the side characters to kind of have their little moments of being like, good job. Like well done, Hachiman. Like, well done. Like, because, like...
I'm very curious to see what Hayama Hayato
Yes, exactly. That's, like, the exact side character that I'm thinking of right now. With regards to their whole relationship.
Right.
Okay, so in the beginning of this episode, we didn't get 7 minutes with Hiratsuka, but we got
90 seconds.
We got plenty.
Good 90
she
seconds.
said so much in that moment of, hey, if you don't have the right words, that's okay. Just use all your words. And then when your words run out, throw some actions in there. And then, you know, use all of those words and actions to build dots, to connect, you know, to build the connection. And I was gonna freak out, and I wish I had said it, but there's a point in the reaction where I started freaking out, and I should have just said it. But once they got on that little walkway, I was like,
they're building a bridge.
They're building a bridge. It was the metaphor in my mind of like the dots, the numbers, exactly, and then that walkway turned into basically a platform, which then they used to go over the freeway. Which I was like, it's an actual bridge, and I knew we were getting a confession.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well,
there's certain places that you know a confession like just has to come.
Well, and also looking at it from another perspective, they're finally alone together.
True.
Like that.
After all that flirting in front of their mom and her mom and
that was all. That was all just the foreplay, you know. Like, but okay.
You're trying to bait me, aren't you? This is blatant baiting. Yes, please take the bait.
Right. Yeah, but
God, but I get chills, man. This is so good.
Hiratsuka was amazing, and it's like 90 seconds was all she needed.
Yes,
you know? Home run, boom. There you go. And when she scribbles over all of the other things that she had said at the negatives and uses that as a shading to then reverse say love.
Yeah,
that's holy shit. Like you've had a lot of time to plan this, haven't you? Like you just know that this is like because she thinks about her own love life so much and frets over it and worries about it that this is where her mind's at. So of course she would come up with something beautiful like this.
Yeah, and you can tell right here once she puts all the things: annoying, wimpy, twisted personality, can't say what he means, complicates things, slow to reply to messages, makes people worry, dead eyes. She's writing in the space after that. She's about to write love, basically. But then she's like, I could write a whole lot more, but when you put all those together, when you get my love for you, which... That's exactly the way he confesses to Yukino. It's so beautiful.
Like Hiratsuka, you are too damn awesome. Like
you're too good.
Like
it's just it's so good.
Like okay, Hiratsuka, you must be getting in your own way, because if you say this kind of shit to a guy, how would they not absolutely fall for you?
Well, to be fair, she is talking about this in the stance of like, I am not trying to get something out of this.
No, totally.
And when you talk about this way in like the romantic sense, like Hachiman did for Yukino, he is absolutely having a self-motivated aspect of this. That's where desire comes in.
Exactly.
Like,
and this is the acknowledgement of that desire.
Right. This isn't desire from Hiratsuka. This is
well, other than maybe to help Hachiman.
This is head pats and
exactly. Yeah.
I want to bolster you. I don't. Yep. I'm not looking to acquire anything from you.
But this kind of just awesome openness and vulnerability that isn't the punches to the stomach when she gets frustrated about something. You know? Like that. Yeah,
you're right.
You're gonna do okay, Hiratsuka. You're gonna do just fine.
Just fine. Yeah.
But yeah, excellent scene, and then from there we get to the one that I was dreading.
Yep.
Which is the Yui conversation, because and this is and bear with me a little bit in this segment of the discussion, Caleb and viewers, because I've been a Yui shipper. That's no big secret or anything, right? And this has been a long series. I have never watched a romance show that was this long. I don't think.
I think 2 cours is your.
I think
usual,
2 cours is the most that it's ever been. Right.
What was the one show that was really long though, where it actually like like, I'm trying to remember. It's a show that you've seen, and you've mentioned it quite a lot as being like one of those like classic romance shows, though. There's something else out there. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Oh man, I can't think of any. Like Toradora is like my go-to, like has been my go-to like romance anime, right? But like,
okay,
like
but there's something else though.
If there is, I'll probably remember it like way later or something. But
wait, it's I don't know if this is actually more comedy or romance though. Isn't Clanad a romance?
Clanad's weird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Clanad
like
for different reasons.
5 core, right? Like,
that is a 4 core show.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gotcha.
But in this situation where it's the 3 cores in order to get confession love triangle resolution,
sure. Okay.
Love triangles, and I've said this before, love triangles are very tricky to handle because how do you make it so that way the resolution for the characters on all ends feels satisfying even if the characters themselves are sad, right? Like that they can still have that cathartic release and really facing all of the emotions that have been stirring up in this turmoil inside of them and have that, satisfying conclusion, right? And in some ways, there's a part of me, and I think that this is a biased part of me, that is unsatisfied with this resolution for Yui. Now, of course, this isn't the end of the series. There's still that final episode, right? But it's something where Yui still didn't fully get to actually, she got to, but she didn't confess her feelings. She didn't actually get the confession, and I think it was important that she. Or at least I thought it was important that she would make that confession and then get shot down and kind of make it even though she knew she would get shot down, because her struggle this entire time has been kind of similar to the other character struggles, but it's truly facing her feelings and being open and confident enough in them to actually let herself have them and not be swayed by environmental circumstances and pushback, right? And so,
see, yeah, I slightly have issue with what you're bringing up here because she knows that he knows that she likes him.
Right.
There's nothing that needs to be said except that which will bring pain to her because she's trying to reveal from him, is there any chance with me and you?
Right.
And he's like, no, there's not. My heart is for Yukino.
Sure.
And thus, I don't want to make you feel like you have to state your wish out here and get all this pain and vulnerability in this really hard moment out in front of me.
Right. Not that Hachiman would demand that of her, right? Of course not, right?
No, but I think he's somewhat
trying to be
aware
considerate,
enough like being considerate of being like,
and the counterbalance to the point I made of feeling like she didn't necessarily get her win even though she didn't get what she wanted is that she didn't keep herself from crying when he was walking away. Right? Like that she stayed there and it was just that the tears didn't come, right? And if that's the case, then that means that there was some element of her that found at the very least acceptance maybe. And then
she said it's because there was no more tears to cry. Basically, I cried too many tears.
That's true.
So when you become so emotionally like pained by something that it basically like roils your stomach and it makes it so you can't cry, like you've spent your reserves. The pain's not just not there because you didn't cry.
Sure.
If anything, we saw the pain beautifully animated on her face when he told her something that sounded so awesome as like, I wouldn't want you to have to wait, was it?
Yeah, and then
that's like one of the most beautiful little bits of animation. Like,
yep, yeah. The amount of feeling that's communicated through the looks on her face, it is damn impressive. And yet that almost feels like the part that's the that is kind of the rejection part, not the aspect of him talking about the connection to Yukino, although that might have come after. I can't remember.
Yeah. He has this part here. If this is something that helps, it's not something a single word can convey. Sorry for all of the constant trouble. And she's like, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be able to do this better someday. I think the day will come when I can properly convey my feelings and properly respond to others' feelings without having to bend words and logic to do it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to wait for that. Basically saying, I'm letting you go. Like, I'm just letting you know it's not going to happen. Please don't spend any more time in pain waiting for that.
Don't waste your time on me, kind of.
Exactly.
Because that's something that I can't provide right now. There will be someday when I will, but it's not now.
Yeah, and she feels that it's the rejection. It just hits.
And it's also the thing of the him phrasing it, because of course that Yui's situation is something where she is experiencing an almost constant tremendous amount of pain, and yet it's something that she wouldn't change for anything because these feelings are precious to her, right?
She wouldn't exchange it.
Yeah. Even though it's painful, right?
Yeah.
In Hachiman's case, he is addressing the painful side of things, right? In that's you don't need to wait, right? I'm letting you go and all that. And at the same time, it's hurtful to Yui because it's the do you think these feelings can be summed up with just one word, right? In the same way that he can't sum up his feelings in one word for Yukino, to have it be summed up, kind of, even though he didn't actually use one word, as the this is a negative thing. This is a thing that is hurting you, holding you back, whatever, right? And there are elements of truth to that. It's the but you think I see it that way? I because I don't. She doesn't, right? And
it's just a fun little extra thing there. I thought it was really nice. Is that almost immediately after this bit there, Yui has a big breath.
Looking up at the sky, stands up.
And they leave. Then they head out. Basically meaning that the reason for being here is over.
Right.
So I'm going to head out and I'm going to go cry. But then thanks for carrying my bag. Hachiman is this thing with carrying, other people's bags and stuff, or their baggage, if you will. But then, thanks for dealing with all my stuff over this time. But now I'm picking that up. This is just a light little thing.
Who said that? Was that Hachiman or Yui?
Yui said that. I can. Oh. Yui said, "Thanks for carrying my bag," which I find this as such a small little thing, but it's a form of basically saying goodbye.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks for carrying my bag. Yeah. And then you go. So one of the things that Hachiman said to her was, "Sorry for all the constant trouble."
Yes.
Which what I internalize that as, I haven't been really good at communicating my emotions, or
I haven't been fair to you, kind of a thing.
I haven't been really fair to you, and I've been making you feel like you maybe had to wait all this time.
Sure.
But I don't want you to feel like you have to wait anymore, which is rough. But I apologize for that. I'm really sorry. And then at the end here, she's like, "Well, thanks for carrying my bag," which is, I think, like the slightest little way of a response, because she hasn't really said anything to him,
right,
since he basically rejected her.
Yep, like there's, I'm sure with her saying, "All right, well, let's head out," that was probably part. Okay, I kind of got a resolution to this. I got what I needed from this.
Call it
right, but then at the same time also okay, this is painful, I need to go.
Yeah, exactly. So then here, it's kind of the formal thing of just like, oh, well, you did a thing that was nice for me here, so thank you for doing that. Okay, yeah. Okay, goodbye. But I just love it because of the tie back to things like with Iroha, where carrying the bag was like, a little bit of a thing there. But also, in this case, bag, is like baggage and just all of the feelings and stuff like that. So thanks for holding on to my feelings, even if you did send them back to me.
Right. Yeah.
And then no tears came, and then the dog touches her,
and then immediately
the tears. This is so real. The fact that the dog is the key to that, and it wasn't the mom. It's just something how simple of like just some
bit of empathy.
other being coming in, some other individual with love just coming in and being like, "Here's love." And you're like, all right, that's where my heart is. All right, that's where my feelings are.
Right.
And Mama Gahamama just like, don't hold in, just let it out. Just sits next to her. It's like, yep, just right here. And how could the words come out?
And I gotta say, the way that there was something about the movement of the tears in how they actually came out that felt it felt like studied, like, because a lot of times when characters cry in anime, it's it's a bit more dramatic, right?
I see.
But this, and I'm no artist or anything like that. I haven't analyzed, how tears actually roll down
scene,
roll
so
down
we're
the
gonna
cheeks,
accentuate
right?
everything in our mind.
Totally. But like,
I got you. Yeah.
Well done.
And then levity.
Cold shock to comedy.
Because suddenly Iroha is on the case.
She's like, what the hell is this? The fuck is this? Yeah.
And I love, they're like, I plead the fifth. Denied. I like my lawyer. Denied. And then her hand slap here.
Give me an explanation.
And there's just moments in this show where they're just like, okay, this scene, all the animation. Like this little clip here, all of it. So the hand slap, like that's animation right there. Let's just this is wonderful. And they're like caught like a rat in a trap, and then they cut back and forth between Mama Yukinoshita and her just oh Baba, I hate that hag. What is she even here for? What a pain in the ass. Like, oh, I hate her. And they're just like,
that was so awesome.
She's terrifying. It's like, yes, I love the
an ogre, a demon, an editor.
Yeah, yes. That was inspired. Yeah. This felt straight from the mangaka light novelist's mouth or whatever. Just like, no, this isn't exactly just what the character would say. This is my frustrations as a writer. An ogre, a demon, a fucking editor.
And at the same time, it totally works for Zamakuza too.
It works for Zamakuza as well. Yes. Now Hachiman playing his games, making them dance to his tune,
which I love because when it first went to this, I was very confused.
I was a little confused too.
Then I was like, oh, okay, that's right. He said he had a crazy plan that he talked about to Hiratsuka. Right. Now, but why is he doing this, right? Because the antics and the plot devices and the things that happen in this series really are methods of indirection to make it so that the characters don't actually have to be honest about their real feelings. When it comes down to it, like
how to write romance comedy.
Well, right, but even for like the side characters and stuff, it's that they can't fully acknowledge something, so there's this other thing that is there, like
used as a tool to bridge the gap.
Exactly, right. And then I'm like, well, wait, why is Hachiman doing this here?
Right.
Because if he's made the decision to...
He doesn't need a layer of indirection,
He doesn't need a layer of indirection. No. What's the point? Except it's a bug, not a feature. Or it's not a bug, it's a feature, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no. All this bullshit, basically, of going through these motions and stuff, that's just, that's just part of the fun, right? Yeah. And as a other way to make amends in a really cool way, it's well, Yukino has an issue here in that she still ended up relying on me, right? I still ended up helping her. But what if I put myself into a situation where then I need to rely on her?
Yep.
Maybe, just maybe, that will, even if it's all for a bullshit excuse, reason, indirection, whatever, right? It's a great way to communicate, and it's a way that Hachiman knows how to communicate, and it's a way that Yukino knows how to interpret the communication.
Right.
Because they are both such bakas, they are both terrible at interacting with people and things like that he has to use something like this. But then it also takes on that sort of like grand gesture of love kind of, turn too.
Just a little. And I love that Haruno starts to catch on.
Oh, yeah.
Because he starts to use, like, words that are, a bit, like, even if it turns out poorly, I should see it through to the end.
Like, he's totally just, like, he really should just turn to Yukino and be like...
If I don't do that, then my feelings will smolder forever.
Right.
And Haruno just like... like, you bugger. Doing all this trouble for that? To put on a prom for that? And he's like... Yeah. Like, look at his face. He's like, yeah, how dumb can you get?
He's like, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
like,
I'm doing this entirely for personal reasons.
Right.
I don't expect any kind of understanding or support. Like, it's all just extra bait for Yukino. And it's
like,
just,
it very much feels like Haruno, okay.
Haruno, like, catches on to the plan so quickly.
Oh, yeah. It feels like...
I fell in love with it all over again.
This is a weird analogy, but it feels like Haruno is the DM of a tabletop RPG, and she set up Mama Yukino Shida, right, as the boss, right? And she's like, how are you going to deal with this, players?
Right.
The player's like, I have an idea. And then they actually present their bullshit, ridiculous idea. And the DM's just like, you can't be serious. And they're like, oh yeah, we're going with this.
And the players around the player presenting the idea aren't even convinced. They're just
what?
like, we are not with this guy. They're like,
we don't
sliding
associate.
Out of frame.
Right.
I use my action to disengage.
Right.
And
I hide.
I hide. Yeah.
And then it's just, all right, let's see how this snafu unfolds.
And it keeps getting stacked against him, and I love that Haruno starts to play
back
into it to give him that pushback of like,
Yeah.
we're gonna make this harder,
right. But at the same time,
that's the thing. She's trying to get Yukino to respond positively to it, and it's like, wow, you are an idiot.
And the mom covers her mouth with the fan, which I like to think goes to show that she's reading into all of this.
See, I think on some level she noticed earlier that there was something going on that she was not privy to.
Right.
So she used the fan to go into observation mode.
Right. To
suss out.
Right.
So she's not giving away anything. She's like, I don't want to give away that I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, when she puts the fan down, she's like, okay, I think I get it.
I think I figured it out.
I figured it out. Because I do think that she clued in a little bit earlier than this that there's a spark between these two.
Yeah.
And that was in a previous interaction. But yeah, it's probably when Yukino like gets all
seeing
flustered
how flustered
like
she gets. Yeah,
I'm talking about your daughter, and she's just like,
what?
And
do you have any problems with the last prom? It went off without a hitch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that Haruno even tries to be like, no, let's get this extra spicy. But as a mother as well, you also like have problems with this, right?
PTA
of course I do. Yes. Which is why Yukino, this is your choice. You should decide. You're the one in charge, are you not?
And now, that is probably my favorite thing that the mom has ever said.
My favorite thing she said. Yep. Like, well said. Because what she basically read correctly, I think here, is that she's like, okay, in a weird way, Hachiman is making a request of her.
Sure.
But I'm going to call her the person in charge because obviously he's not going to succeed at this unless he gets her involved, right? Right. Her involvement. And then she's like, well, then this isn't my choice. This is actually a thing with you two. Yep. This has nothing to do with me.
And it's also a cool way to put the ball back in the court of Yukino. Just in case there was some part of Yukino that's like, oh, but I mean, I'm not really helping Hachiman because he set this all up and things like that. So, you know, I guess it doesn't change anything. You know, but it's the no. I could totally be antagonistic and all that stuff. But hey, Yukino, you drive this ship.
You drive this ship. Yeah. I really think that when she put this decision out there for Yukino, there was a couple other things that were on the table kind of subtly with regards to the father's company and everything, which is kind of her domain as well. I think she was also saying, like, you know, if you don't invest in this right now, remember when Mama Yukino Shida had that look at Hachiman and she was like, well, I like you, like the way your deviousness and your schemes and the way that works and stuff. I think that Mama became a potential Hachiman Yukino shipper slightly at that moment and was like, I want to rope you into our business. And I think she gave Yukino the decision with a slight little bit of,
Yeah, like this is also a test. Like I'm seeing what you do here.
Yeah, because I think if you decide to join in with this, I think there's some ways you could screw it up in my book.
And,
there was, as you know, her deep devilish demon mom, you know, kind of thing. But also, I think she's like, you'd be a bit of a baka to not invest in the Hachiman stock because there's something about this boy that I think we could use. You know?
I love that idea. I feel like she might not be quite that on board, and or at the very least, there's multiple facets to it.
And Yukino did say afterwards, like, I think she was just
like forgetting about me or giving up on me,
abandoning me.
Right. Like okay, my claws aren't in her really. She's gonna do her own thing and whatnot, and yeah.
And I love that Hachiman gives us the little first-person perspective of, this was all a negotiation for Yukino. None of it was for them.
Wait,
it's all a bunch of bullshit.
And that is something that I really appreciate, because at the end of this series has a lot of misdirections or not misdirections, indirections to the things that are being communicated, right? So having like Hachiman, say, oh, you're talking about a love triangle to Haruno those few episodes ago,
right?
That's important because you do really want to have at some point where it's actually officially said the things that you've been subtly like talking about through indirection.
Yeah. In some way.
Right, in some way. And the fact that, like, in this scene, it's very clear what he's doing here, right? This is all for Yukino, but to have him, say it in his head.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Yeah. I said what was said as a mother. And then Hachiman says, oh.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go do it all the same, you be sure to see it through.
And that dead stare.
Yeah. And then she has the hair flip. You don't have to tell me that.
Right. And it's just like, who do you think I am?
Yeah. And
then that smile.
Smiling.
Yeah.
And Hachiman's just like, that's a girl right there.
And then from there...
the confession. The bridge.
Yeah.
Now, I love that Yukino doesn't get it. Because I think it's up for debate whether she actually doesn't get it or not. So...
Okay.
Yukino's really smart, and I do think that she's so close to the situation, she can't really see the thing that he's kind of...
She is a baka in certain situations.
Yeah.
Because she's so smart, Yeah.
And she is not Hachiman level observance, like observation, and skills. Like, she's not that good at it.
She has much more bias than he does.
Way more. And he kind of just... avoids it by being like, well, to be honest, I'm terrified of the fact they just back down. And she's just like, me too. Like, this is a good point. Yeah. But this whole thing here, she calls it like the type to give up. I really think that this is, man, I think this is just proof that she doesn't get it yet. Because she sees
all
it
of
as
that stuff
they were
earlier was for her.
Yeah. She doesn't get that. Yeah.
Yes.
Because she calls it what they did giving up.
Right.
But she does kind of draw this connection of, well, what is it? That look my mother has, the same one she has when she looks at my sister. Do you mean she acknowledged you? Well, she might have given up on me instead. Now, what I want to throw in with that...
Oh, yeah, and then she asks, why did you say something so absurd?
Right. But I want to throw in the idea of giving up on me is obviously talking about with relation to the business and stuff like that. That's the immediate first kind of explanation. But a second way of looking at it is I actually think you can make your own decisions here. I'm giving up on my hold on you.
And you're your own person.
You're your own person. And this guy right here, he's a sly one. So if you end up choosing him, I'm actually okay with that because I've given up on my desire for it to go a specific way.
Right. There's always the kind of behind the scenes pressure of, but make sure you make this work. This is your decision. So I have no hand in this. So this is all on you.
Yeah.
But
it's basically proven like 3 times over that she had no idea what was going on because she's like, why did you say something so absurd?
Yep.
Oh, that was the only way I could stay connected to you. And she, Nani?
What? like.
And then he keeps talking, and she's like,
and walking, and
this is honestly like, it's actually kind of cool to see them do this in the, like, I don't think this is hard necessarily to do in 2D, but the fact that I've rarely seen when the background is so clearly like on a different layer, someone get like smaller here. I don't know. I just love the effect of that.
Yeah, that's. I can imagine that's probably pretty tough.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't think it's necessarily tough. I just loved the look of it.
Yes.
However it was done.
Yeah, as far as like visual things to convey feeling, like that goes up there. Like I'd say that's like right behind Yui's, facial animation.
Oh, I think that's like skyrocket.
No.
Top of the moon ability.
Yeah.
Right there.
But I would say this is like I can't think of a second from this episode other than this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. I just loved that in this bridge that he's trying to build, she kind of stops on one side of the bridge, too.
Right.
And it's like, whoa.
Why would you do that?
I am not crossing this bridge without knowing that you're building one. I didn't know you were trying to build one.
Yeah, where are we going?
What is this? Where are we going? Exactly. And she calls back to the promise. I see you to grant her wish. And she's like, hey.
Yeah.
We had an agreement. And he's like, hey, this is kind of a part of it. Like, we could say it is, because it is.
Because Yukino really is a baka. Like, because in this moment, she still thinks that the I send you off to Yui is like a good result. Like, and it's like, no, girl. That's not how this works. It's not good for Yui. It's not good for Hachiman. It's not good for you.
Nope.
Like, it's not good for anybody.
Yeah. In some ways, it was one of the things that, while I understand her desire to be interdependent through independency as being the first stage of that.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to go through that stage of independence so that they can get to interdependence and choose that naturally.
Right. Those teenage rebellious years are important.
Exactly. So, at this point here, she's not, like, getting into a situation where Hachiman is like, I want you to depend on me. He's coming with desire. Just it is what it is. You can respond and reject or whatever. But I love that she keeps coming up with these like really, I would say, Yukino-style defense mechanisms to keep pushing this in such a way where everything could have been just fine if we left it as is. And he's like,
come on,
as is. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Whether it's acquaintances, associates, friends, classmates, or whatever you want to call it, I have no confidence that we can maintain that kind of relationship. Well, but that may be true for you, but I'm going to do this. It's like, ouch, Yukino, that hurts. I'm going to get better at doing this. It's
and
like,
that's showing that she's determined and really trying to
good for you
to work on it, you know.
And then I love how he does the hey, where you think you're going? We're not done here.
Hold on just a second.
This may hurt to hear, but both of us have basically zero communication skills. We overcomplicated things. Now we use the same effect of the him getting smaller,
right.
As she's walking away and what have you,
and not showing her eyes.
But yeah. If you part, you think we'll be able to go back. We're just going to drift even further away, and then
reaches out for her, and oh hey, what do you know? You can't reach her from this far away, Hachiman.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Words are not enough. Literally the thing Hiratsuka said. You're going to need to use not only all your words, because sometimes they won't reach, some action too.
Like, I feel like Hiratsuka should just write like a playbook of like, all right, this is how you navigate a rom-com in high school.
She's literally Rohan from Part 4. Heaven's Door! And then writes it into Hachiman, you know? Like, so I need fan art of that shit. Like her with like
doing the pose and everything.
Yeah. The pen like comes out. She rips out a napkin from like Hachiman's soul and just like, you've got this. And that run, that
runs
grab,
forward, grabs her hand,
the bag
and
drops.
she is shocked. She is shooken. The bag just instantly drops, and that's and it's not something where it's like eventually it drops of like, oh, this is like, as she starts to realize what this means or anything. Just the fact that he did something like that, it fundamentally just made her be like, well,
I've never he's never been like this before. What is going on?
Yeah.
And I loved this. I loved this bit here. There's something really attractive about responsibility when it comes to relationships, but one of the things that is weirdly hard to kind of make kind of draw a real like image of, I would say, is that responsibility in relationships is primarily a personal decision. It's not something that you make for someone else.
Yeah.
So each person kind of comes into that with their own bit of, I'm going to be responsible with the connection that we hold. The thing that we've built together, this bridge, we'll each do our part to maintain and build and grow it and all that stuff. But with regards to characters outside of the Yukino Hachiman dynamic, like Iroha or Yui, there's an element of responsibility in that we have unequal building of the bridge, basically. We have people that have different types of bridges that they're wanting to build. And it's the idea of you have a responsibility to communicate to the other person that I'm not willing to build this bridge with you. I can build another type of bridge, a non-romantic type of bridge. But Hachiman basically saying, hey, yeah, I want the idea of us, I'll take my part of responsibility with this, but that's not enough to communicate what this thing I'm building with you is.
Right. Insufficient doesn't mean that the thing is bad. It's just that it's not enough. There needs to be more.
Yeah. And it's not a social obligation just because we have the connection.
Right.
I love the way he bridges the concept of responsibility to desire. He says, I want that responsibility. I want you to give me, what does he say? Or rather, I want you to let me have it.
That is so freaking beautiful as far as a way to describe this thing that they can't sum up with just
because it's so good.
Because, like, okay, a lot of the things that they've been... All right, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here on something that might seem a bit unrelated.
A bit tangential?
Yeah.
You're building a bridge off just somewhere. We just have to follow you.
Indeed. Should is a nasty, evil word.
Ooh.
Yes. Because
tear shit apart.
It absolutely just twists up our lives, and when you do something because you should, just stop. What do you want to do? What do you truly want to do? What do you desire? Right? And yes, is it possible for desires to run rampant? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, and there needs to be structure. But forget should. Right?
Obligation is
exactly. Now, responsibility can go very close to should, right? It can go very close to that. A lot of the things, almost the entire conflict of this series, I feel like can boil down to shoulds.
Oh,
because with say in the first season with Hachiman, right? Well, I should not like these situations. I should not like these people. I should not like Yui's whole persona that I see because she's the nice girl, right? And I have experience with with people like that, right? When they get into the second season and they start pulling away from each other, and there's all of these things of like, are we hurting our friends by both liking the same person and all of that stuff? It's more shoulds of like, I shouldn't do this because it's causing these consequences, right?
Yeah.
Should. Responsibility. Yeah. Hachiman is not doing any of this because he should, but because he wants to. It's a genuine decision.
Yeah.
Yukino pushing Hachiman towards Yui, that was a should.
Yeah.
Right? It was a should for Hachiman, it was a should for Yukino, right? Of, I feel bad about the way this is going, and really, if you're not going to be with me, because I don't think that would be a good idea right now, then you should just be with Yui. And so, him coming here and saying, yeah, this is a desire, it is not a responsibility, but you know what? I would like to attach myself to you to that degree where maybe it truly does become a should, where I pick that up for myself,
or you give it to me,
or you give it to me, right? And I love it because it's something where it's the line from Bakemonogatari, to love is to demand, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he's basically doing here.
Yep.
Right?
You give me half your life, I'll give you half of mine.
Yeah. He runs up and grabs her hand, right? That is demanding something of her. Hey, don't go away. We need to talk about this, right?
Yeah. I desire you.
Yeah.
She's like, why aren't you just saying those words? He's like, you think I can say that right now?
Right. You think that's a good way to sum it up? That doesn't really work, and that's not how we think, anyways.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
and then overcomplicating things. So let me overcomplicate my love for you
exactly
in all these wonderful ways. So allow me the privilege of distorting your life.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what the?
And then there's the whole thing.
What do you mean distort? Yeah.
Hey, let's make sure that it's balanced too. And the way that he addresses her concerns of it being balanced, by instead of saying, no, you actually bring so much to the table more than you know, and things. It's a wonderfully beautiful way of dealing with the insecurities and insufficiency complexes that people can have, because people not never. it is fairly common for people to not give themselves enough credit. There's the when people give themselves too much credit, and that's a different thing.
That's a different
thing. But it's pretty normal for people to not give themselves enough credit.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do that? Do you tell them that oh no, you actually give so much more than they believe they do? No, they don't buy that. They might mentally assent to it, but they don't actually believe it.
Right.
But if you say, so then that means I just need to go down to your level, basically. If you aren't that valuable, well, guess what? Newsflash for you, I'm not either.
Yeah.
So maybe we're perfectly non-valuable for each other. You know?
Hachiman I can spew bullshit too. I'm not valuable either.
Right.
And she's like,
I object to... Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
If we were to have balance in this, then that would mean that you would reject what I said too, huh?
Right. Oh,
and then the Hachiman's stock is at an all-time low. It's bottomed out, so buy now.
Invest now. I love that as the banter. That was so good.
That was so good.
It's like, you make it sound like a scam. It's the worst pitch I've ever heard.
And then she punches...
Yeah.
But the hand doesn't leave.
Yeah.
It grabs on.
And I love this part here. Because like, why are you standing there spouting all that stupid stuff? It doesn't matter. He's like, there's something else you should be saying. He's like, I can't say it. No way. And he's almost like kind of smiling a little bit. She's like, you really think I can put that into words? And then she just kind of goes, I think I might be a very tiresome person to deal with. And it's just like, Yukino! Oh!
And he's like, yes, you are. Yeah.
In any case, I've done nothing but cause you trouble. I'm stubborn and I have zero charm. She's like, yep, that's true. And she's like, hey, I wanted you to deny that part. That's a tall order.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if we're all useless, then no one is.
Mm-hmm.
And...
I don't mind how tiresome you get.
Burdensome. Like, oh my god! And then just, like, please. Just
hey, don't take your hand away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll give you everything.
This is so warm and wonderful. Only a warm touch truly conveys the sentiment. And this is something that I would say is a very smart way to have the confession go. Because one of the things that's probably really rough when you're writing something like this is you know where the conclusion is going to be, but you don't know how you're going to write it. So having the confession be something that is something where people go, ooh, this is something unique. It was something wonderful and special, something that was memorable.
Right.
Rather than just, I did, It's just like, yeah, that's common. Everyone does that eventually.
But this is a snafu of a romantic comedy.
We need something extra.
Exactly.
And then you're probably like, how do I do that? Fuck! Yeah. It's like, well, they won't say I love you. That's the twist.
Right.
And yet it's a total confession of love.
And then you're like, oh, damn, but that's also been done a ton too.
Right.
Okay, well, hold on. I'll take it the next step further beyond.
But even then, I think it's just the commitment to having it be the build up for just a scheme from Hachiman, basically. And then her, desire to paladin champion a cause, come in and save him from this.
Yep.
Save me. Playing all the way back into like the callback of like what season 1 kind of was. Like, I'll present to you my lost cause, and you'll be like, oh, you're so horrible. I must save you, and I must distort and warp your life. He's like, now, can I do that to you? Can I?
No.
Can I do that to you? I really want to. I really, 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 really want to.
Yeah.
It's just like. This is literally the bard paladin romance right here. It's just. Like,
I like it.
Like,
or even the rogue paladin.
Well, no, we have to have 2 charisma-based classes.
Hey, charisma rogues are very much a thing.
That is true.
Yeah. But like, there is going to be so much role play in their relationship. like, let me tell you, like,
it's true though. It's true.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, it's my turn to be the paladin. Oh, look at me. I am Yukinoshita.
And then she just laughs.
I am unbeatable. My causes are flawless,
Oh, my God.
Yes. It's wonderful. But yeah. I really love how this confession was done, basically.
Yeah. It felt excellent.
Yeah, it felt like a scene. It didn't feel like a few words exchanged. It felt like a momentous occasion in both their lives that they will remember, but not because of like the light hitting a certain way.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
like, you know, the all this stuff,
Right.
and then just the words are dropped.
or whatever.
But no, it's the
Right.
it's the desire, it's the attraction, it's the pull, it's the tug, it's the hug, it's the all that other stuff.
If anyone were to think that after 3 cours of these bakas not being able to be honest with their feelings about each other, that when they finally are honest about their feelings with each other, that it would be in any way direct.
Yeah.
No, that's not how this goes.
I just feel like I still haven't fully gushed about how much I love this scene, because it is about the things, though, that people remember when they have those really powerful moments in their love life, basically, where
it's those
like
no big deal things that matter the most.
It's all the little details and stuff. And this was basically a whole bunch of little misdirected details, you know, like little things there to pull at the heartstrings of each other. And yet, it was not easy. Like, Hachiman had to basically like dig deep, go down and like use all the words that he really does not like to use.
No.
And go all the way in there, and then use action, and then continue to use words, and then use action again. It was in some ways a repetition. Use all my words, a little bit of action. All my words, a little bit of action.
Yeah.
All my words. No. Keep that punch right here. Don't pull that away.
Right.
And then she leans in, and then she says, "Please allow me to have your life." And it's just,
wow.
I don't know any other way to say it, so deal with it.
I
I love that he's still like bantering with her. In this
That's kind of stiff.
Yeah,
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, you can totally like imagine in their minds like the uncensored version of these events where.
Right. Yeah.
I'm so glad we get another episode after this.
Me too.
Because if they ended it here, that's how some series do it. Like, some series do it
and
where
that would still be
they have
good.
an end credit scene, time skip little moment that's like 90 seconds long. And it's like, fuck, no, I want more than that. I want to see the other characters and this whole thing as well. So now, next week, another episode, and the show will be over. And there will be a show replacing this.
That's right.
Been a while.
Been a while.
But, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching the discussion here. This was
great.
So, thank you all. I'll see you all in the next one. But if you want to see that next episode's reaction discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below. For our Patreon, you can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.